Important die roll, and spoiler, it might not be the last that we see during the match. So
yeah, players are going to have to practice their dice rolling skills if you're going to put a Paradise Smasher in your extra deck. But I thought I saw Damien win it.
yeah,
Setting 1, which can sometimes mean passing, but not if you are Malice.
indeed.
And Damien, I suppose with when you've already got to normal summon a monster, normally that's like the baseline for a turn, but nowadays, of course, with more Charming Perulia being one of the more popular cards in people's main decks, sometimes even that's a good start, that you just get to normal summon a monster uninterrupted.
Yeah, we've seen some players, I think, take deck building to quite a unique approach for this event, given that you're only playing against other 15 players. And Ben, for example, the other Vanquish Soul player, has been maining Chaos Hunter, which is, you know, quite an interesting take, which for sure you wouldn't take to the main event, but just makes so much sense here. But surprisingly enough, Dinh-Kha, which is known for all of his, you know, unique takes, is the one playing maybe the more traditional list out of the two.
Yeah, it is a big gamble running that Chaos Hunter. Do you think that's something that you would have done in an event like this, where there's only such a small field?
I think for sure. I mean, I don't know about Chaos Hunter itself, but I think, for example, we have seen other players using the Takian spells in Ryziel and then playing the one copy of Lancia. I think that's extremely smart, for example, and, you know, less risk-prone, I guess. But yes, it does make sense. I mean, you're really playing against such a small field, you know, and you can get info on what they've been playing throughout these, you know, events and WCQ different fields. So why not just take a risk?
I also feel like the Chaos Hunter is extremely powerful. I think the choice is either the Meowls or it. It really depends on how you feel like about it, but I think it was a solid choice from Dinh-Kha's side because, you know, there are 7 Malice competing in the event, so far so good for Dinh-Kha.
Yeah. But this looks quite amazing from Damien, and Dinh-Kha does not seem to have much of a response at the moment.
Yeah, he's always got quite a calm demeanor, though, Dinh-Kha. I don't think, you know, he could be winning a YCS and he'd look exactly the same while he was playing.
Indeed.
So I guess we'll have to see. The cards that you could wait for a long time are cards like Nibiru, possibly, which I think there might be a few copies in his deck list.
He's playing a couple, yeah.
Okay.
He's playing 2.
Nice.
But at this point with Malice, there's almost so little to be afraid of, because once you've got your whole engine set up, you know you're probably going to have a March Hare in hand with a good few Malice links in the grave that offers you like so much follow-up for the next turn. It makes it so difficult for your opponent to win on their turn. It's just so much to deal with.
I think it's also quite unfortunate from Dinh-Kha's side because he's maximizing on Mul Charmers in the main deck, but he didn't draw even one.
Yeah, that's rough.
And the Diddy Crows, of course, is not helping in this type of matchup. So
yeah, I mean, the reason why we can see obviously cards like Chaos Hunter, the same as Diddy Crow, being in the dark, matters for the Vanquish, and we now see an Ash Blossom. Been extremely patient with it.
Yeah, got to hold it for that premium time. It is one of the premium targets. Obviously, the Whitebinder going to have it stuck in the banished zone. And as well, since the GWC is now in the graveyard, that would probably be the easiest way to get the Whitebinder back. But GWC can't really get out of the graveyard without Whitebinder. So between those two things, it might be difficult to get it back.
Also got rid of the impermanence, so I mean that really makes you feel like his end is incredibly solid. And I mean, already seeing a start like this, I think it's Damien needs to be satisfied because there was also no Holy Su from Dinh-Kha's side.
Yeah, Damien just going full steam ahead here. You get some good insulation from Nibiru once you have Heart's Scriptor, because you can chain its effect to banish something, maybe itself, and it will just come back.
I mean, it is considered a deck to beat for a reason, and we have seen it plenty of time throughout the past events.
Yeah, one of the things that just makes it so resilient is you play all of your engine, and then you also draw a bunch of cards. So In later games, when you've got all these powerful side deck options, you're going to see them because you draw like 3 cards throughout the course of your combo, as well as all the other things you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's arguable that maybe it doesn't have the most powerful in terms of oppressiveness turn 1, but for sure it is the deck that has the more recursion. And yeah, here comes, I think at this point, one of the signature cards of Dinh-Kha, this part of Extravagance. Played in a lot of different decks.
Choosing very carefully what to banish.
See if there's an Ash Blossom.
And we do have Ash.
Very hard to argue with Ash Blossom on drawing 2 cards.
And that's going to be difficult for Dinh-Kha because he's left with 4 cards in hand and with the
rough.
IP on the field, and also if there's like, okay, there's Rhoda.
Okay. Reinforcement of the army.
Reinforcement, it's one of these like old school, it's super powerful, but it's one of these cards that even though it's such a good normal spell, it's almost falling off in its power because of how popular Draw and Lockbird is. All of these like classic cards like Reinforcement of the Army and Bonfire, you almost just don't want to play them because of the Draw and Lockbird, but you kind of need to because of how important Razan is. It's a really big call out from Damien there, just activating Vela in response to Razan, saying like, you know, you might have it, you might not, but I'm gonna make you use it anyway. To some extent, you need to do that though, because you can only use one effect of Razan in the same chain. So if you use the Vela now, it prevents it from using the destroy all cards in the column effect. So it's kind of protecting your IP, even if it was going to get bounced.
Yeah, and this Baldric is so strong, obviously acting not only as a response for your opponent, but in Malice it's just an engine card and it does so much. Yeah, this is looking quite rough from the German champion.
Yeah, and we see him just collecting cards in his hand, banish cards. There's also these extra effects to contend with that make it even sturdier, like for example the field spell preventing you from being attacked, except for your Malice links, and then because some of the Malice links making it so that all of your opponent's monsters have their attack and defense switched. All of these little extra effects.
But yeah, we're gonna use Baldric, we use Chain, the Rock, and Recur. Let's raise it. But now, what do we do? Oh, okay.
Looks like your soul is good.
We do have one of the few extenders.
So I guess good for Damien to keep track of what cards are in Dinh-Kha's hand, and I think all we know is the Razan. He's revealed it again, so he's getting a lot of mileage out of this Razan. It's been revealed, it's turned itself into a rock, it's come back again. And Jialong going to get to search. Good for Dinh-Kha to have that Ash Blossom. I was thinking to myself just how powerful the non-target banish you have with the Malice Trap face down is, because again your opponent can return one of their cards on the field, so target interruptions not quite as strong, but if you have a non-targeting interruption, it doesn't matter if your opponent chains a Vanquish Soul effect to summon a new one, you can just banish the new one, and that's going to be the same for Heart Scripter. So at some point it might be that Dinh-Kha just struggles to stick a monster to the field.
Here is the
brand new. I don't know about you guys, but when I read this card, I was absolutely stunned at how powerful it is.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, it has all it needs, and I think that was really what the deck was looking for. And the card itself is amazing, and you can tell that maybe I think it's also a very good choice for a player like Dinh-Kha to play a deck like Vanquish Soul, because you have so many different options, and I think it makes a lot of sense, especially because like here in Damien just maybe want to make sure how all this all works, because it has double effects. So this is far from over. I mean, we have seen Dinh-Kha's at our freedom match areas multiple times throughout the years, and you never can count him off. So looks like the whole issue is now resolving.
Yeah, it's so important for the Vanquish Soul deck, because beforehand, they only had limited ways to get monsters onto the field if you'd like just sort of destroyed their monsters or banished their monsters that they summoned. But now this just gives you another way, along with the Stake Your Soul and of course your normal summon.
I mean, it was quite obvious that it was going to be rough to break this field, but we have also learned throughout these years to never count Dinh-Kha out. So if there is one person who could do it, it's probably him.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things about Vanquish Soul compared to other decks is it's so strong near the end of a duel, so you have no issue like playing out longer games. If you're like a long combo deck, perhaps you want to preserve time on the clock. But because Vanquish Soul, it's quite short and it can inflict direct damage without needing to attack or anything like that, you're totally fine for games to take longer and win them near the end.
You also need to consider that basically Dinh-Kha is playing under Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and Bolt Drakes, and this is far from over. Of course, there's the IP on the field from Damien's side, and here we're seeing another new card, Vanquish Soul Star, which is of course another layer of addition for the deck.
Ooh, and yeah, we knew about it. Comes the other Ash that we revealed earlier in the turn, but yeah, that's plenty. And unfortunately, although given a solid effort, Dinh-Kha has to pick up his cards, and game one goes to the Frenchman. Well, I mean, we knew that it's always rough, and I think Dinh-Kha himself knew that the whole point when you're playing against Malice is either you're able to stop them or to win the next turn, but no matter what, if you give them an additional turn, they're going to have so much that they are usually able to run away with the game, and that was pretty much what was going on there. But the side deck has always been like that for now over a year. Artifact Lancia, always the most represented cards in the side deck, and just like Pot of Extravagance was a signature card from his win at YCS Birmingham, there is another friend coming back in the side deck from Dinh-Kha that was quite good in the finals, I'd say, and that is...
There it is, the Chaos Hunter, and an excellent card in Vanquish Soul as well because of its dark attribute, so you can get extra value out of it. I feel like in this event in particular, players are always shoving a few cards for Malice into their side decks. There are so many super powerful cards against Malice. You have the Chaos Hunter, you have the Artifact Lancia, and you have that Molchamp Meows. But in an event where you're expecting like a big concentration of the best decks, and one of those decks is Malice, maybe you're going to be facing so many of those cards.
Yeah, no, especially like before when I was interviewing Julius, he said, yeah, I was expecting a lot of Malice to enter the tournament, and I mean, I was quite safe that my deck is prepared against the deck, and I think this is the case for Dinh-Kha as well. I mean, you have so many different cards, and Molcharm is along with the Artifact Lancia and Chaos Hunter. So yeah, I mean, it's now the pressure is on Dinh-Kha because he has to come back into the match, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, one card I'm seeing less of in main decks than I expected was Droll and Lockbird. Which is really interesting to me because it had been almost a main deck staple in my mind for a lot of decks and a lot of people, and now everyone's just sort of relegated it to the side deck, and just sort of everyone seems to have unilaterally decided we're going to prepare for Malice and then we'll side deck for other decks, rather than the other way, which was like we're going to prepare for Ryziel and Mitsurugi by playing Droll and Lockbirds, but instead we're all preparing for Malice.
Yeah, but now it's time to let the cards speak. Let's see if Dinh-Kha can accomplish this comeback. Let's jump back into action for game 2. Good old pyramid style from Dinh-Kha. And a lot of questions. And again, we start things off with the Pot of Extravagance. That's a great.
Yeah, but you're allowed to Ash it now. You couldn't Ash it against the Fire King deck, otherwise they would use your Ash against you, but I don't think he's playing Heater this time.
But nope, does resolve.
Drawn Lockbirds for Damien.
Not quite, and we follow it up with this Raisin.
And this is one deck that is going to be very, very tough for Malice to beat when they're going second, because against a Link deck like Malice, the premium thing you can do is just remove their monsters from the field. Against some decks, you want effect negation, but against Link decks and Cyburst decks, you often want to just remove their monsters from the field. And what deck is better at that than Vanquish Soul? You can pop things with Razin, you can steal things with Holly Sue, you can destroy the field with Snow Devil. They just have so many different ways. And what is this? Wow, a real blast from the past. That has taken me by complete surprise.
That's good. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't really see the Phantasme being activated often, and there's the Ash Blossom being activated from Dinh-Kha.
Yeah, big Ash. Yeah, that's extremely annoying. Gonna, you know, stop it completely, and it's not like the deck wants to Link summon all that much during their opponent's turn, but...
Yeah, Phantasme basically a Molchami. you reveal it on your opponent's turn, they reveal their Ash.
I believe there is an impulse, maybe. I mean, so let's see.
It's so difficult though to know what to interrupt, because at this point, Dinh-Kha's got access to almost everything. But
yeah,
he's going to hold on to it if he does have an impulse.
Mad Love comes down.
Impulse now would make a lot of sense, so maybe that means Damien's got another hand trap he wants to use before Impulse. I don't know what that could be. But yeah, I feel like wiping the field against Malice as well is super powerful, so he's going to have multiple ways to just destroy whatever Damien summons.
But with a starting hand like this, honestly, it's as you mentioned, I think it's going to be very difficult for Damien. I mean, just alone this field, plus, you know, the trap card being added now from Dinh-Kha, the Snow Devil. You have so many different disruptions, and, you know, now, yeah, play is with Damien. We know most of Dinh-Kha's cards in hand, and I really want to see how Damien here can navigate through this.
We start with the good old set one.
Are you someone who remembers to set one to bluff? Because I feel like I would just always forget.
I mean,
like, I should set one.
Fair. Yeah.
Remember to declare your phases and set cards and all these things, and just give your opponent a chance to react to something.
Absolutely. I mean, it did happen in Unchained meta as well, and we saw some interesting, you know, mind games with that back in the day. Yeah, again, I mean, it doesn't look at first glance as the most impressive opener, but actually there are so many layers to it.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult. We've also got the Mad Love, which can just return a card on the field.
Yeah.
With the lowest defense.
I think in a way there are some similarities with the Fire King deck, where, you know, these openers are not really full of negations, but it's rough to go through all of it. And every card is something that, you know, in terms of advantage. So
I mean, maybe slipped up a little bit there by putting that Dormouse in an empty zone, or maybe he planned it all along.
Could be, maybe, you know, baiting out and getting rid of that interruption. But this time it wasn't a bluff, so. Oh, 07 resolves. At least the good news is no Lancia, but can we play through this field?
I think he barely used an interruption really with Razin. It's like such a minor thing to use, but it's already so disruptive for Malice. Still staring down a good few.
And
yeah, here
that's a quick one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is how it is. I mean, looked like out of the two, definitely Dinh-Kha had the easiest win. I mean, it did look like both players set up incredibly well, and then there was not much the other could have done. But I mean, now the question is, can Dinh-Kha find these answers in the side deck? We have mentioned he does have 6 extremely good cards to stop his opponent from banishing cards. But if that is not going to be the case, we could just see a repeat of what happened in game 1. The deck is extremely consistent nowadays.
Yeah, the Malice deck, given that new March Hare, I think everyone thought it was going to be like the best deck by a very clear margin, and that didn't turn out to be the case, but it still proved to be one of the top contenders for sure, and definitely the deck that's on people's minds this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think the deck is super consistent. He plays along with the all the other Mitsurugi, Ryziel variants we have very well. Yeah, I feel like I will be scared of, being Lanciad or maybe, also the Chaos Hunters, right? It's true that you have a lot of different options. Also seeing at Damien's side deck, he's prepared also with some interesting choices. But yeah, I think the Vanquish Soul deck, it's one of those decks which I think will be very difficult to beat throughout this format. Yeah,
indeed. In the meantime, I can give you guys an update. As you could notice, we have been implementing this backup future match, but unfortunately it will not be relevant for this round, as Julius had a quick 2-0 victory against his opponent Ludovic on Ryziel Mitsurugi. So we will just jump into the winner's interview instead, I guess. But for now, there is one more game to be played, and for anyone who just joined, this is round 3 of the playoffs, and these players are undefeated, which means this is an extremely important game, as it almost guarantees a spot in the top cut. So let's see who it is going to be. Is it Dinh-Kha? Is it Damien? Don't go anywhere. Let's go to game 3.
I think we should have known better than to put Julius in a backup feature match, because
Fair.
his style winning in 20 minutes.
I asked him about game 2 in the second round, and it was like, yeah, I mean, I had Lancia. So, yeah, I mean, he has a chance. Like, if he wins last round, he has a good chance to advance. Yeah.
Speaking of Lancia, do we see one? Here is where it should come. No. Okay. So for now, the start is exactly the same. We opened Dormouse in game 1 as well.
The Lancia is just the highest quality interruption by so much, because, again, even if you have a Meows here, right, you're still going to get to draw a couple of cards. You're still going to get to do quite a few things. If you play the Chaos Hunter, you've got to give up a card here. You really, really do want that Lancia.
But for now, we see Fuvalos instead.
Makes sense from Dinh-Kha there. Activate the Fuvalos while your opponent has 2 fewer draws. Decrease the chances that they have Ash Blossom. And he's just been holding it for cold buy at the time.
Yeah.
Wow, and here comes
There's
the
another
second.
one.
And imagine, yeah. I mean, depends on what we have, because as you've mentioned, Tom, the deck does draw, as we can see here, and if you get your hands on a couple of interruptions, you might even just hold on for a turn.
Yeah, you could also pass in theory.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, especially with a hand like this. I think he also has a lot of darkness.
Is it a DD Crow as well?
Yeah, Mistaken Arrest, I think.
Yeah, I was going to mention
hand.
Mistaken Arrest. Everyone's sort of talking about all these super powerful cards against Malice, but Malice has got its own one of those, stop your opponent from playing the game cards. It's very good against Ryziel Mitsurugi, and it's also very, very good against Vanquish Soul. They want to add so many cards.
Wow, what a hand. What a hand from Damien, honestly.
Veil, Crow. Is that a Bestial? No. Yeah, it's the Druid's form that we decide to banish.
I think it's the end of the world if it just passes, right?
Wow. No, I totally agree. I mean, why?
Yeah.
It's kind of an advantage matchup as well, so getting this free +2 from Dinh-Kha is great. And that's a rough one. How do you even play around Mistaken Arrest?
Yeah, Holy Sue.
Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking about something.
Yeah.
So maybe he does have it.
Maybe does have it plus, 2 right attributes.
This would be your whole hand you're showing to your opponent,
Yeah.
but I guess you kind of have to.
Does he have it?
Wow.
Okay. He has Raisin. Okay, that's good.
I mean, this is a beautiful hand for Dinh-Kha as well. Like double Fuelos plus both your best starters. But we're just seeing how powerful Malice is with all of these draw cards. You can set up a lot of advantage without giving your opponent all that much. So does he have the attributes required? No,
No,
no
he
attributes
does
to do
not.
anything else.
And
Yeah, I was missing a piece, essentially.
Yeah. okay, Stake Your Soul and the Raisin that we knew about. We know Veiler, Crow, and I think Mistaken Arrest we said, so it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see.
It's going to be so hard for the Vanquished Soul deck, I think, under Mistaken Arrest, because you're just going to run out of cards in your hand, and you need to keep a steady supply of cards in your hand to be activating these effects.
Yeah. And I think this is where we are going to find out if we have enough cards to reveal. Do we have another fire is the question.
What is that last card? You need all of your
Yeah.
cards to be monsters
I
in
think we
Vanquished
don't.
Soul.
Oof, and this is gonna hurt a lot. Yeah, it's rough. Mistaken Arrest, shutting down Dinh-Kha. And yeah, resolves.
There's not so many cards that can negate a Mistaken Arrest.
Yeah.
Primite Drill Beam.
This one is going to
Cross
hurt
out.
a lot.
Cross out Designator.
Yeah.
There we go.
No chain. One card in hand from Dinh-Kha, I believe.
This one's going to hurt a lot because
We
Yeah.
just
There's no way to activate any Vanquished Souls.
seems like we will indeed overlay, and yeah, that's, that's
Here we
the
go.
strategy.
Just a 2 material Paradise Smasher. You are allowed to do it. I absolutely love this. Just look your opponent in the eye and say, I'm going to make this. When you're in a dire situation,
Yeah.
I guess it's something. I mean, surely Damien cannot let this resolve. I mean, your odds on for it not to affect you, right? Because you could tie or you could
Yeah.
lose the dice roll, but you just can't risk it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you'd rather take the risk, right?
you take it. I mean, we have Veiler, we know, but
Is there a cost to detach the materials? I haven't used this card so much.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
Damien.
we're gonna read it.
Just checking, like, are you even allowed to make this with 2 materials? That should be illegal.
Yeah, we are. And yeah, you see effect gonna be activated, then... Ooh, okay. We do not use the Veiler, but instead we do have the Malice quick spell.
Do we have yet another trap?
I think the last card is maybe the 06.
Yes,
The
we
last
do.
card.
Damien's sitting
What's
very happy
next?
now.
Zeus? What do we have?
I suppose the extra deck, you don't really know what's in a Vanquished Soul extra
Yeah.
deck because they play so many different cards under the extravagance. You just kind of fill it out.
I guess that is the case. We just attack over a couple of monster.
Probably very hard to optimize the extra deck because you don't know what
Yeah.
what you need under extravagance.
And yep, here comes the rock. We do have that Crow and Veiler yet, and yeah, we're just gonna use this Veiler. It's gonna be a rough one from Dinh-Kha. One more card in hand. What is it going to be?
Really struggling to imagine what card could get him out of this. Maybe an Artifact Lancia would be the best thing to have picked up.
Yeah. Because like with one card in M left, and next turn Damien most likely is it's able to, you know, seal this one. But
yeah, he's fully loaded with 2 traps set and a couple of cards in his hand. Gonna start the turn even with a Malice on the field. I do love the creativity though of going for the Paradise. It's something maybe a lot of players just wouldn't even like cross your mind to do.
here Dinh-Kha summon the Vanquish Soul Rocks, which yeah, we see once in a while. Also, this is quite of a new release.
Yeah, bring it up for you guys as well.
Tiny little bit of extra value. If you've battled with a Vanquish Soul monster, you can destroy a card, but it can also be upgraded into a Zeus.
Yep.
Which I guess is what's about to happen now.
Most likely.
It's pretty funny that, because normally it's it doesn't really go well with Zeus, the Vanquish Soul Rocks, because you have to attack with something, another Vanquish Soul, which isn't an XYZ, but then because you attack with the Paradise Smasher now, you can make a Zeus.
And that's a pass. So 1 card in hand for Dinh-Kha. Pretty much relying on this Zeus to survive, but so many cards still available to Damien, and yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, Damien, got to remember, he is also under mistaken arrest, so he cannot activate his MTP.
Yeah, here comes also the main difference, of course, between, you know, Diddy Crow and the Bestials. You cannot Diddy Crow your own cards, which in these kind of situations could be extremely good.
Zeus can still present a little bit of problem if you're not careful, so Damien just having a think. I guess the question is, can you afford to let this Dormouse resolve? Maybe you just hope that your opponent just uses it to summon another Malice rather than get a March here.
Yeah, especially because now it may be quite clear that it doesn't have a Lancia. Yeah, he goes for the Zeus right away.
It makes sense, because you know otherwise your opponent's just going to get March here.
Deck resolves.
Back to square one from Damien here with Zeus cleaning up and
it's
pass.
a pass. Wow.
Absolutely incredible that.
Yeah. That managed to stop him.
A combination of that and his own mistaken arrest.
There are quite a few interesting draws that Dinh-Kha could pick up, only 2 cards, but yeah, he's checking his extra.
This is where all of those cards you like stuffed into your extra deck and you thought, I'm never going to use these.
Yeah.
Because Damien is left at 59, so let's see if there's any chance Dinh-Kha
Gonna be soon 2900, I guess, and
Yeah, you can do an awful lot of damage with just a single copy of Razen or Mad Love if you draw it, but
no
luck for Damien.
Yep, just push damage, 30 minutes remain. Should be enough, but the difference is it's quite huge, but no, it's a pass back to Damien. Can he find an answer, and what a good one it is. Yep.
Will we see a Malice Link eventually hit the field?
No Lancia for Dinh-Kha.
Yeah, I mean,
Could it be Chaos Hunter though?
would be great, but doesn't seem like that is the case. Dormouse gets to resolve.
Got to think this Dormouse would be stopped at all costs if it was able to stop. So possibly on the mind for Damien is just Nibiru. So it's hard to think about what cards wouldn't have been activated.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Because you know also the first one in hand is definitely not fire. And yeah, the second one...
I guess there's been nothing ashable yet. It's amazing, Malice. It's so sneaky. You can access your deck. You know, you've gone into your deck 2 times and nothing
still
is...
no ash
Yeah.
is an option.
Choice for Damien here to summon the Wizard. There's some thought maybe if you hold it in hand, it's one of the best ways to deal with the potential Nibiru. But I guess if you also just hold Marchair in hand, it does just as well.
I think we are holding double Didicro maybe at this point. Wow.
Didicro to me speaks like you didn't have any other cards you wanted to put in against Vanquish Soul. You need to take out those Mulch armies, so you just stick something in.
Yeah, I mean, can be decent against the Rock. I mean, not optimal because but at least you can cut off some of the options that it can recur, I guess. And yeah, this is similar idea. But you're right that Nibiru looks more and more like a possibility at this point.
So Dinh-Kha just pointing out here that he has already used the Dormouse. We still have a lot more in the tank for Damien being able to set the GWC 06.
Here comes the Didicro.
Finally getting some use. What a great use it is. Didicro making that access code.
Yeah. Talk of a life point gap that can be reduced quickly.
It's so tough here. There's no, even if you have Nibiru, there's no real time to use it. You know, you can wait, but you know that Marchair is still sitting in the hand. And GWC sat there ready to go. We're going to the battle phase here would threaten 8,000 damage.
Do we have anything? Do we have the Nibiru in hand? That seems to be the question. We're counting life. And no, we do not, and that is it. Dinh-Kha has to pick up his card, losing game 3 in a close match, and Damien is the winner. Well, what a match, and what just an impressive show of resilience from both players in what were 2 extremely quick game 1 and 2, and then a more unconventional game 3, I'd say.
Yeah, both players having access to ways to stop their opponent, so the double Furloughs from Dinh-Kha and then the mistaken arrest on the other side. And then this is kind of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like to see nowadays. I think you kind of say, like, oftentimes if someone just gets the combo off, they go first. It can be quite a short game, but you get those really interesting games where you're hit with Furloughs, you have to kind of do a little bit and then let your opponent go and see if you can interrupt them, and then that's how you get those back and forth games.
I think it made a lot of sense for Damien to just sit on the Furloughs without, activating anything, especially because of the mistaken arrest. He also had the Malice in the Mirror, which helped him out a lot, also with the Effect Veiler in hand. I think overall Dinh-Kha really tried his best into the game 3, but he was missing one piece for the Holy Zoo. And I think also the Zeus, I think for a moment we thought, yeah, maybe Dinh-Kha, has its chances, right? Because if he had drawn a monster, maybe we would have seen a different ending to this game. But yeah, we will never know what these 2 remaining cards were.
Indeed, but I mean, regardless, they both are still in it. They were among the few players left with a 2-0 score, which means that Damien, as we've been mentioning, is almost guaranteed a spot in the top 4, where, I mean, anyone who makes it is gonna be quite happy, I think, because they get 2 chances because to go to the World Championship, as 3 spots are gonna be, ended in today, and that means that Dinh-Kha will have to give his best to try and win round 4 and hopefully sneak in. So maybe we could have a rematch later on in Top Cut.
Yeah, it is such a tough event. This, as you said, you compared it to the World Championship, and it is a lot like the World Championship. You're in a very small event. You're playing, it's very prestigious. There's a lot of players who have worked very hard to get here as well as you, so you're going to have a really tough time to make it into the top 4.
Yeah, exactly. So we will soon find out, but in the meantime, let's hear it from Seb and Damien, the winner of round 3.
And here we are with our winner, Damien Valla. You're now 3-0 in the tournament, so that pretty much means you're probably going to be in our top 4. How does it feel at the moment?
Yeah, one more win to the world.
Oh, one more win to world. That's what you're aiming for, of course. You are, of course, the French national champion at the moment, and now you're trying to also make it to the World Championship, yeah?
I try, yes, and it's in Paris, so...
It's in Paris, of course. It's in France, so a Frenchman has to go. So you had a tough opponent to overcome you with Dinh-Kha, one of the best players in all of Europe, but still you came out on top. So I would say let's go into a couple of highlights here. I have the first highlight from the first game, actually. So let's dive right in. And this is game number 1, and I think this is pretty interesting because, first of all, Dinh-Kha immediately tries to scare your IP Mascarena there, basically, by going into the column of it with the Raisin. And I want to talk about your setup here, because I think IP Mascarena is not that common anymore as a setup for the Malice deck anymore, but you still decide to use it as one of your interruptions here, which is your reasoning for that?
It's one thing I already play in French National, and with a pretty good results. And basically, it's my normal setup.
Okay.
So yeah, I was happy to have this setup, and I think it's good against the deck of Dinh-Kha.
Yeah.
Because I can chain it to raise an effect to pop it.
True.
So
very much. So I think overall you have like a multitude of interruptions here, right? You have the IP Mascarena. What is the most likely monster you go into? Do you go into SP Little Knight on their turn, or what's the plan with it?
I can, and I can go to Topologic Bomber.
Ooh, yeah, that's also good.
This is my plan when you have 3 bodies. I think it's on the second game, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have 3 bodies, and it was my plan to do Topologic. Array effect to pop the board.
Oh yeah, that's pretty strong. Then of course you also have the Baldrake then. You're main decking Baldrake. Was it a question for you to play Bestial, it's a heavy Bestial package, or was that never a question for you?
Yeah, it's a question because there are a lot of Malice players in the tournament, so it's not the best card. But Baldrake is a good option and add for Magnamut.
Yes.
So I play it, and it's a very good card.
It's very, very good indeed. And then of course the Cryptor also can use its effect. And I think you have MTP set as well then, so that's basically 4 interruptions right away, isn't it?
Yeah, you have Ash for the
Ash
0-7. But I have a Entrap in hand, I think, Veiler.
Yeah, you have the Veiler too.
Yeah, the setup was good.
Yeah, true, we can make it 5. Yeah, it doesn't stop. Like you just had the full setup, and therefore it was no surprise that you would be winning game 1. I think actually Dinh-Kha tried to play into your field quite well, and I feel like it was quite good to see how many monsters he actually got out with just so little, right? I was afraid for you because he kept on summoning monster after monster after monster. Did you still feel safe?
Yeah, no, my plane was a Topologic Bomber to pop the board,
So that was the plan, but as he scooped, you didn't have to go for it anymore, so you were happy with that, and that pretty much secured your game number 1. And how confident were you feeling then? Game 1 in the bag? Still always tough against Dinh-Kha? Or
it's good, but it's Dinh-Kha,
so... Did you play against Dinh-Kha throughout the entire season? Because you have been playing a lot this year, of course.
It's the first year I play. It's the first time I play against him.
Nice.
And I know he's one of the best in Europe and in the world, so I was happy to play against him, and I win, so I...
But you beat him, you beat him. Then game number 2, of course, it was a little bit different. I have another highlight there for game number 2. That was pretty quick, honestly, so it's not many highlights to pick from. But you actively decided to normal summon the Dormouse into a column with no monster, right?
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting to see to me, because usually people try to play around, but here that column was empty, and therefore your opponent, Dinh-Kha, could summon that Raisin into the column.
I tried to force it from the first play, because I have the 0-7 set.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But
that MTP is still waiting there, and you wanted to activate it, and then therefore that was the plan all the way. But then still afterwards you scoop pretty shortly after, right?
Yeah, because Fantasme is hashed, and I don't have many resources, and I know his deck is good on time with Roger, so I want to have a lot of time in game 3 to...
That's fair. Another card you're mentioning though, Fantasme.
Yeah.
Is that because Vanquish Soul is in meta game right now, or why did you decide to play that?
Malice and Vanquish Soul.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that is a card that is very good for the player that you're playing Euros, or do you think it's an overall good card in the format right now?
Maybe it's better for the playoffs, but it's playable in the main event, of course.
Absolutely, very, very playable. And then we have the next highlight here. Let's run it. And this one was interesting because Dinh-Kha used double Muchami Fuvolos immediately on the effect of Chessicat. Do you think that was good to immediately use it there? It's just, he probably was trying to keep you off of cards like Ash Blossom, right?
Yeah, because he have Resin and All Issue in hand, so his hand is pretty strong.
Sure.
But I top decked Allure of Darkness with Chessicat, so I have many interruptions too, even if I don't special summon from the extra deck. So I take the deal. I will survive one turn. And,
we see that here. Like you just kept on drawing. And did you think about it for a moment to give him draws, or were you always like, okay, I'm not going to link summon at all here?
No, because I have Malice in the Mirror, DD Crow, Veiler, so I was comfortable to pass.
I think you did that at French nationals as well, right? Because a lot of Melis players didn't play a lot of hand interactions, but you really made that popular again, right? With Effect Veiler, with, as you say, also DD Crow and so on and so forth. Now, you think you just need that at the moment, or what's your reason for it?
It's basically the same approach of the French national.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best to beat, to have a consistency, to win many games in the main events.
Yeah.
And for the playoffs, the question is interesting, and I decided to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I know I will play well with it.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm comfortable with it, so.
Fair enough, fair enough. So yeah, 3 set cards, so that's a lot to overcome still, even without any link monsters. And now the last highlight that I have prepared. Was that a scary moment for you? Because there we see it. We have your opponent going into Zeus, and you couldn't activate your own MTP anymore, right?
Because mistaken arrest.
Mistaken arrest. And then he sends every card on the field to the graveyard. What was your hand at that point that you couldn't play on?
I have Inister Wizards, TD Crow, and one other Entraps. Yeah. And I top deck a second DD Crow.
Oh no!
So I can play this turn, he can too, and I top decked Malice in Underground after.
If Dinh-Kha there would have just top decked a Raisin or something, it probably would have been over,
finished,
right?
Yeah.
So you got a little lucky on that end, but I mean, still very well played from you for sure. And now you are in 3-0 in a very, very promising position. Should be almost locked up for the top 4. So are you going to be try-harding this last round, or are you going to take it a little slow now?
I will play it, and we will see,
I mean, you're one of the best players in Europe. You're a national champion, so of course you're always going to try. Your friends are out here supporting you. I think all of France is rooting for you as you are their national champion, of course.
Thank you very much.
Damien, thank you so much for the interview and for the analysis with me here. And of course, best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
We may as well see you back in the action and top 4. Everyone at home, definitely make sure to keep on watching because it keeps on getting more and more intense. We will be back for round 4 very, very shortly, so don't go anywhere. See you after a short break.